I decided to film. Well, I just kind of wanted to keep you updated. I'm in my dorm at Mount Holyoke. It looks like it's still snowing, but the snow's kind of lightened up a bit. I finally got a setup. I started to set everything up right after my tea was ready, and now my tea is almost cold, but not quite. So it's like lukewarm, which isn't as enjoyable, but at least I have cookies. I'm still trying to figure out my setup. I think I'm going to add more of these papers so you see it throughout the wall. I don't think I really vibe with the rose, so I think I'll change that up. This is my giant bear. I think I will be leaning on him because it's more comfortable for me. You know, this is how I would sit if I talk with my friends in my room about books. Yeah. My mug. I don't know if you can see. Well, on this side it says Lord of the Rings, but on this side it's Gollum. Today is one of those days. I had my first in-person class at Mount Holyoke this semester, like years in 2022. So technically classes started 2 weeks ago, and I did have an in-person class at UMass. I just wanted to add a bit about the classes I'm taking because I think they're really interesting, and here I was doing a reading when I was like, ooh, I haven't told you guys what my course load looks like. If you're into international relations or history, politics, econ, that's kind of what I'm taking. But so I had IR research methods today, and then tomorrow I have political geography and introduction to international political economy. Yeah, introduction to international political economy, which is so far a phenomenal class. I am thoroughly enjoying it. I think the professor is really good and thorough, but also engaging. So I'm like, ooh. Yeah, and I mean, I'm interested in political economy, and trade. So of course, the topic we're talking about right now is trade, and I'm like, oh, this is so fascinating. Mercantilism. Well, I'm not like, yeah, mercantilism. I'm like, oh my God, mercantilism, liberalism. They're like, oh, theory. I love theory. I love political theory, political economy and theory. Like, oh, that's so interesting. Anyway, on Wednesday, I have IR research methods again, and then I have a seminar later on in the afternoon that's the sound like a turkey. Wow. Okay. Yes, it's the political economy of inequality, which was the one I was doing the reading for because I'm reading a whole book for it, and really engaging stuff. I've only had one class because last week's class was canceled, but I think that class will be really engaging. And with the discussions that I hope we have, the reading is very dense. It's more like a philosophy book.
So that's philosophy.
Why, as a concept, is inequality given this moral duty? Or why do we attribute inequality with morality? And then it kind of breaks down different forms of inequality and how we justify it and whatnot. So really fascinating, but it's dense, and so I'm partly recording this so I don't have to continue reading it. Like, I want to read it, but I have to read it so slowly to understand it that a 14-page reading, because it's like a chapter, I have to read this whole book. I actually had to read it for last week, but I didn't do that because I was watching Vampire Diaries instead, which I'm not saying that Vampire Diaries is more fascinating than the political economy of inequality, but I am saying that because one has vampires. So I didn't do this reading, so I have to get this reading done early so I can get this week's reading done before Wednesday. And it's Monday, so I have 2 books to read, plus other readings. Not to stress you out or anything.
So now I'm stressed about being stressed.
Then Thursday, I have political geography and introduction to political economy again. And then I have my UMass class, so I have to catch the bus, go to UMass. And that one is my history class. It's a 400 level. That's the history of science activism. But it's fun. There are a lot of STEM majors in this class because it's a I think it meets a gen ed requirement. So a lot of these STEM majors who need a gen ed requirement in the humanities will take this class. And so as a history and IR major, it's fun being around people with different perspectives. I think it's more enlightening to the discussion when you have non-humanities focused majors in the class. So especially for the history of science activism, I don't know that much about the actual experience of working in a lab because I myself have not worked in a lab. So it's more interesting to hear a biomedical engineer talk about the impact of activism in their field, or the chemist. The difference between a tenured professor in STEM versus a tenured professor in history, drastically different and impacted by capitalism, but in slightly different ways, and how conceptions of capitalism, and we were talking about pure science and research and how capitalism impacts science, how tenured professors, whether or not they are impacted by capitalism in the same way and that constraints to make it pure science, or are they given a bigger opportunity to pursue pure science? But anyway, so we were talking about that, and it was a very thorough discussion about conceptions of science and then how activism then plays into it, and how exactly we conceptualize science, the role of science in society, and the role of society on science has been so fun. Like, I really look forward to going to class. On Fridays, I have work. I also have tea club, and that's my schedule for this semester. Later today, so Monday nights, I have the Mount Holyoke review. It's been a while since I've been able to actually attend a meeting because last semester I had a whole medical issue and was off campus for over a month. And I am excited that I can actually show up to meetings, read some people's work. I'm on the board, and so with my position on the board, I am the business manager, which means I am talking to printers, trying to find out how much printing and all of that other stuff. So I have to do that before the meeting, but at least with the meetings this semester, hopefully I can attend because I was not the best board member last semester. I really should have attended more. So this semester, hopefully I can. Back to previous Renee. I think Monday is a good day for me to film because I have only one class in the late morning, early afternoon, and then the whole rest of the day free. And I think doing this kind of check-in with you will be helpful to me, just as a break from my schoolwork, and decompress with tea, with books, with movies, or just this kind of video journal that I'm doing right now. As you can see, I have these books here. This is the current book I'm reading. I am a little over halfway through, and so far I'm enjoying it. Going slower than I expected, but with classes starting, I guess I should have expected that with classes starting. And I'm also reading the second Poppy War book. That's like an audiobook, and I have had to renew that book so many times. Not that it's not interesting, it's just I get like really busy with something. I'm using Libby, so my hold expires, and I'm like, no, I only had like 4 hours left on this book. So hopefully I'll finish it this week and then give you my thoughts on both Poppy War books, 1 and 2, because I didn't make a video for 1. I'm not going to make a video for 1, but I think I can do 1 and 2 together, because sometimes with series it blurs together. I'm more likely to do a discussion on a series if I'm halfway through at this point. So I don't know how this is going to turn out in filming, but I can't really see how I look in the camera, and I'm sure editing Renee is going to be so grateful because I'm going to be more self-critical, but I think because it's far enough away that I can't really see what I look like, I feel like that takes some of the pressure off because I'm not as self-conscious. Hi, editing Renee. I am not as self-conscious rewatching it as I thought I'd be, so that's a win. Of course, I'm like, ooh, cut there, cut that. You sure you wanted to say that? Like, you don't need to say the same thing 3 times. You just said it 3 different ways, but you said the same thing. Oh, do you like this setup better, me sitting down and talking? I can also turn the camera a bit so that it's here, because I don't know, with the lighting in the back if that's what we want to do. But let me know. Do you like this way better with the chair and sitting, or me on my bed? Let me know. I think I like this. Ooh, I like this a lot, actually. I might do it. Ooh, okay, while I'm here, before I put it back to Pastor Renee, I'm thinking about kind of recording myself doing homework because I need some of that drive.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours.
Some of the drive to get working, and I think having the pressure that people are going to be watching me, which, you know, a little creepy, but if I have that type of pressure, right, if you're watching me, then maybe I will actually get work done. It's that external sense of motivation. For real now, back to Pastor Renee. Okay. I also love gesticulating with a cookie. Wonderful. Like, mint Milanos.
Delicious.
I love mint Milanos. Well, because Milanos can be expensive. I was like, you know what? I've been working hard. I've been chugging.
Working hard or hardly working, eh, Mac?
I don't think this will be a whole separate video because most of it is just me eating a cookie. However, I hopefully will have more to say, and at least now I have my setup. Bye. I need to get tested today. Yeah. Oh, I can't forget to do that. The testing center's like right across from my room, so it won't be that difficult, but gotta stay safe and COVID conscious.